Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about something very important. Without it, there would be no life. What is this thing? It's water. Water is called life. Everyone must drink at least 3 or 4 liters of water every day. Animals and plants also need water to survive. You know that water is made up of molecules. One molecule has 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. Together they form one water molecule. "71% of the earth is covered with water. But very little of this water is drinking water. The reason why drinking water is so scarce is because much of it is in the seas and oceans. And as you all know that seawater is very salty. Many people are now aware about the technique of rainwater harvesting. In this technique, water that falls as rain is collected and stored by filling it in drums, cylinders, or into underground tanks. You should not let this water go to waste and always try and save it. Now, do you all know about global warming? The temperature is rising and snow is melting. Now that we know about it, it is the best time to save water. Now, I'll explain what is water cycle. Water cycle. As the name suggests, there is no beginning or end. It's a continuous cycle. I will explain how this works step by step. Alright? The first step is known as evaporation. This means the water present on land, oceans, rivers, and lakes becomes vapor and rises into the air. Water turns into vapor and rises into the atmosphere due to the sun's heat. There, it's not so hot, it's cold, and the water vapor turns into clouds. These clouds are moved by winds and collide into each other. And because of the collision, the water falls down as rain. The rains bring water back into the rivers, lakes, oceans, or on land. The water which falls on land seeps inside as groundwater. This water seeps further in and reaches the rivers and the oceans. Now do you understand how it works? This means that the sun starts the water cycle. This water cycle only recycles water that is already available. We know that water cycle is continuous. But water is a non-renewable resource. Because new water cannot be created. The already existing water is recycled. Hence, it is very important that we do not pollute the water. Water that is pure does not have any color, taste, or smell. It's transparent. Water is known as the universal solvent because many substances can be dissolved in water. Water exists in 3 states: as a solid in the form of ice, as a liquid in the form of water, and as a gas in the form of water vapor. These are its 3 different states. It's possible for it to change states from solid to liquid to gas by heating it. Similarly, water vapor becomes liquid and then ice when it's cooled. Water is neither acidic nor basic. It's neutral. Water starts boiling at 100 degrees Celsius. When it reaches 100 degrees, water is converted into water vapor. When the temperature of water drops below 0 degrees Celsius, the water turns into ice. When a substance is cooled, its volume increases, making it heavy. Similarly, when water is cooled down to 4 degrees Celsius, it starts turning into a solid. But between 4 degrees Celsius and 0 degrees Celsius, something different happens as it starts to expand. In fact, volume of ice is more than the volume of water. This means that when you put ice into water, it floats. This is seen when the surface of lakes turn to ice in harsh winters. But deep inside, it's still water, where fish and other creatures live safely. This is because the ice is only on the surface and doesn't sink. Things lighter than water float in it, and things heavier than water sink. This is because of the density of water. For example, 1 ml of water weighs 1 gram. Which means that 100 ml of water will weigh 100 grams. And 1 kilogram of water is equal to 1 liter of water. So, density of water is 1 gram per milliliter. Now, let's talk about salinity. Salinity is the salt content of the water. You know that seas and oceans on our earth have salt content in them. Rivers and fresh water do not have so much salt. When water flows towards the sea, salt from the soil is dissolved into the water. Hence, the water is salty when it reaches the sea. You know, in the Middle East, there is a sea known as the Dead Sea. Its salinity is so high, cannot survive in it. It's interesting that in the Dead Sea, it's not possible to sink. If you lie down in the sea, you'll not sink in it because the salinity is so high, the density of water is greater. Hence, it's easier to swim in it and be safe as you will not sink easily. Now, we have explored different properties of water. I hope you have learned it well. Now, I hope that you will understand all the experiments that are related to water. Great! Thank you.